Hi, this is Joe again with another movie review. Of course, this week I have been reviewing the Indiana Jones movie series, and I'd be remiss if we didn't discuss the god awful, cannot possibly suck enough, last, I certainly hope it's the last, Indiana Jones movie, and that's 2007 Indiana Jones in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And this movie is a piece of shit film. And this movie is so bad. I went didn't even want to forget it when it came out on DVD. That's how bad the movie is. I like the indie movies. I like Harrison Ford, but this movie was a piece of crap. And no, it wasn't a piece of crap. It was all over the place. Uh, this movie starts off, and it does start Harrison Ford, Shia LaBeouf, which I mean was good. It was adequate, but it wasn't great. I think he brought down quite a bit of the movie down. Claire Danes is supposedly the villain in this film. Plus, the welcome return of Karen Allen as Marion Ravenwood. And I'm going to discuss some of the problems I had with this film, but I'm going to get into the premise of it. The premise of it was that Indy gets chased all over all over not only the United States, but also South America by the Russians. Because the Russians want him to go after this uh, hand over this crystal skull, which the Russians hired him for, or actually kidnapped him to get him for him. And of course, this crystal skull was a strange skull that was found in South America. And yeah, you know what I was saying? It doesn't sound as exotic as uh, the Holy Grail or the Ark of the Covenant, or even as exotic as the Chicago Stones in the second movie. I mean, that's it. That's the artifact that what Indiana Jones go after. Now, originally, the artifact is supposed to go after this movie was originally supposed to be, what I've heard, was supposed to be Noah's Ark. But for some reason, they didn't go to. I think the Noah's Ark would have been better. But I guess, we were going to an Ark thing, and we did one Ark array, we didn't do a second one. That's probably what the reason was for that. Uh, but they figured this Crystal Skull thing is good enough. And in all places, the Russians kidnapped Indy and his partner, who keeps throughout the film, keeps stabbing Indy in the back. And they were in all places Area 51, which I thought was kind of cool. And they put Area 51 in the movie, and they were in this warehouse in Area 51. And of course, during the ensuing fight scene, of course, guess what they see for like all of 2 seconds? If you blinked, you will have missed it. You will have seen the Ark of the Covenant being stored in this warehouse in Area 51. I am not kidding. You do see for a couple of seconds the Ark of the Covenant, and of course they got out of there. They got out of the opening fight sequence, and Indy is back in his old university, and the trustees and the dean and the trustees of this university where Indy has been working in like for years and years and years. Now all of a sudden they call him a colonel because he was a colonel in World War II. I should point out that this movie does take place in the 1950s. It took place take 20 years after the events of the last movie. Even though the movie came out 18 years later, they rounded off to Spielberg and Lucas rounded off to 20 years. In 1958, where you had the Red Scare and the commies and the Russians all over the place. And so that's why they made the Russians as the villains, because naturally by 1958, no more Nazis. Because the Nazis were, of course, taken down already. So you have the Russians and the university where Indy was working at. Uh, they thought they was part with the Russians and a commie. Hey, Indy's a commie, and out you go. Now, instead of calling him Indy or Indiana throughout the film, like the other three films, they're calling him Indy or Indiana. They're calling him Henry. His real name, Henry, for a good chunk of this film, instead of Indy. Uh, and of course, there was a reference in this film that his father, played by Sean Connery, had died in the 20 years since his last adventures on screen. And Marcus Brody, played by Dallin Elliott in two of the three original films, also died. Of course, Sean Connery is very much alive in reality. I think Dallin Elliott, I think he did pass away in real life as well. So him, I can understand him bumping, killing him off because he died in real life. But killing off Sean Connery, there's kind of like a little bit of a discontinuity there, because in The Last Crusade, when he introduced Indy's father, when George Lucas introduced Indy's father in that film, he drank from the cup of Christ and supposed to give him eternal life. How the hell is he supposed to have eternal life if they bumped him off? Hello? And these are the same people who wrote the last film. They didn't remember the last movie? I mean, come on. So that's one discontinuity that I had a problem with. Uh, of course, like I said, eventually he Indy meets up with this young, like 20-year-old kid, Shia LaBeouf, who, spoiler, turns out to be Indy's son. And he rides a motorcycle, and of course, Indy is famous for using the whip. Where his son, who was Shia LaBeouf, was famous with a switchblade. So he is just as good with the switchblade as Indy is with the bullwhip. And then eventually meeting with the so-called leader of this expedition for the Crystal Skull, which happens to be Marion Ravenwood of all people. And, and of course, like I said, with Welcome Lieutenant Karen Allen as that character. But the problem is that it's now 26, and the point of the movie came out is like 26 years later, and I like Karen Allen, but unfortunately, she did not age well. Unfortunately, and like I said, I like Karen Allen, but she did not age well. And the other problem is that she did not have the spunkiness that she had when she originally played the character in Raiders of the Lost Ark. The spunkiness is there, is not there anymore, and they're trying to one up Indy, Magnum sometimes. That stuff was not there. It's not written there. It's like she plays the part more of a mature woman and a mature person than she did in the first film. Anyway, eventually she tells, and when Indy reunites with Marion, there's a Marion, oh my god, Marion, all these years, and the one thing they did, like I said, Marion did mag. She gave it to Indy for all the other women that he had slept with in the other two films. They weren't her. So they brought that up, which is the only thing that I actually kind of liked, was that Marion ragged on Indy for the other women that he fooled around with. I think most notably in the last movie, with Allison Doody in The Last Crusade. Anyway, from that point on, the rest of the movie, at least the special effects, were all CGI, and you could tell it was all CGI. And they brought in the whole thing with the aliens. I'm talking about space aliens now. I'm not talking about illegal aliens. I'm talking about space aliens. And well, you knew it was going to be space aliens because they had the references to Area 51 in the opening fight sequence. This is, oh god, they're going to go into the whole alien thing in Area 51, and all the conspiracy stuff with the Area 51 and the aliens. They did it in this thing. And the Crystal Skull was the head of a dead alien. I mean, this movie was god awful. I mean, it was bad. And then when Shia LaBeouf realizes that his mother was Mary Ravenwood, they told my mom, I can't believe this guy is Putz. It's my father, referring to Indy. And she goes, yeah, he's your father. I said, was he really like this when you first met him? I said, yeah, only younger. Those types of jokes. And then they met this crazy scientist who looked like a reject of Gary Busey mixed in with Nick Nolte. I mean, the way those two guys look now, and it was trying to knew more about the Crystal Skull type stuff, and of course you see the what the Crystal Skull could do with the aliens, and uh, I mean it was so bad. I didn't even want to remember. I only saw the movie like once, and when the movie was on cable TV, it said, "Oh, they got the last indie movie." My father said, "Oh, they got the last indie movie. You see this one?" I said, "Yeah, we were showing the movie and it sucked." And I'm just not even interested in seeing this movie again because it was that god awful bad. Um, like I said, the only redeeming thing that I have with this movie is the return of Marion Ravenwood. I know I'm bringing it up again, and it's the only thing that saved this movie. Um, was the only real good part of it was Return of Marion. But unfortunately, the magic that was in Raiders of the Lost Ark is sadly lacking in the Crystal Skull. Sadly lacking at all. Not only that, but you didn't have Sala. What happened to Sala? The character played by John Mays Davis. He was not in this movie either. And they never mentioned what happened to this guy. On this character. They never mentioned what happened to him. Didn't see a damn thing. And it's, they referenced Marcus and they mentioned Indy's father. But not Sala. I mean, he was like the third guy that really helped, controls that, especially when he was in the first movie. Uh, One thing they didn't mention in my review of Last Crusade is that how he made not only Marcus Brody look like a buffoon, but also Salo was also kind of like a buffoon a little bit. They made him funnier. It doesn't mean they made the character funny. That means the character wasn't bad. They should have kept him like his personality and stuff the way he was in the first film. He was kind of funny from time to time, not over the top funny like he was in Last Crusade. But Sala was not in the Crystal Skull movie at all. It was just Indy and Marion. And but the only thing that also kind of saved the movie, but unfortunately, is the movie that ends up being the last scene in the movie, and when the credits were rolling, was when Indy marries Marion at the end of the film, and that's it. Like I said, but unfortunately, that was the end of the movie. When Indy marries Marion, and they walk out of the church, and that's it. Uh, but the movie itself, if ever if you want to avoid um, any indie movie or Indiana Jones movie, avoid the Kingdom of Crystal Skull because it's like a waste of time. It was a really crappy movie, and I used to remember remarking at the time because my mother had died the year before. And I remember remarking at the time because I went to see a movie with my father. I said to him, "Thank God, mom died." Because if she'd seen this movie, she would have died by watching this movie. I mean, that's how bad this movie was. They said, I'm glad that my mother had died because I'm glad that my mother didn't live long enough to see this god awful movie. That's how bad the Crystal Skull was. That's how bad it was. I mean, it was just not an interesting plot. Like I said, when this movie went all over the place. Uh, Even knowing had one really good chase scene, and there was a scene through the university. But that's it. Even the bit of the Crystal Skull that was kind of, it went all over the place. Even the explanation for the Crystal Skull. And Indy, Harrison Ford played, of course, played Indy. He tried to do his best with, explain what the Crystal Skull was and the significance of it, and that find and everything. But even that explanation was going all over the place. So I felt that this movie stunk to high heaven. It's not good at all. I thought it was shit. And again, I have to ask you, please avoid this movie. So that's my review of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I can't believe I spent 15 minutes talking about this movie. I can't believe that. I just can't believe that. Please click on the video, please rate it, feel free to comment, please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. And also you can check out not only all my reviews, not only on my YouTube channel, but also you can check out my reviews also on rowdyc.com. That's ROWDY, C.com, which is the home of Christy Moore, the Rowdy Reviewer. Please check out his TV trash videos; they're really terrific. Plus all of his other content, because I'm only one contributor to his website. There are other contributors to his website. Please check them all out. Not just his reviews of TV trash, which goes back to for 5 years since 2010. Uh, Please check out not only his videos, but also all the other content on his website. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Alright, by the way, before I sign off, uh, I want to say I'm doing this video on 9/11. I want to say this video is dedicated to all the people who were killed by those fucking Muslim terrorists 14 years ago today. And this video is also dedicated to my neighbor Tommy Ashton, who was killed on 9/11. And also dedicated to the FDNY, the 343 firefighters who was killed, plus the almost 3,000 others who was killed in the World Trade Center in New York, Washington D.C., and on United 93. United 93, who was crashed in Pennsylvania. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.